Savage CBD strives to help people by offering top quality, lab-tested, natural CBD at affordable pricing. And it really is affordable. Whether you're new to CBD or have been using it for years, you can always count on all-natural, hemp-derived CBD with the purest ingredients. Savage CBD carefully tests each batch to ensure quality, consistency, taste, and authenticity. They pride themselves on their transparency and believe that you should know exactly what goes into your favorite CBD products. With Savage CBD, you can choose from a range of premium CBD lotions, creams, tinctures, gummies, and so much more. When you look at their website, there are thousands of happy customers who've reported incredible results after using CBD to supplement their daily routine. Overall, Savage CBD's goal is to create the products that empower you to maintain your balanced lifestyle. Whether you need some extra shut-eye at night or you need to find some more calm throughout your day, you can count on Savage CBD to help you reach that goal.
And guys, just for listening to this podcast, you can save 20% on your first purchase of CBD when you use our code BRAD20. So go ahead, my friends, start your CBD journey with Savage, and they'll be there to support you with every step of the way. Simply visit SavageCBD.com to redeem 20% off your first purchase of CBD by using code BRAD20 and see why thousands of people are using CBD. Now, Kelly, I've been a CBD user for a little while. I use it when I'm out on the disc golf course. It helps me relax. It's great with muscle aches and pains, and it's really kind of replaced ibuprofen for me. So anybody that's listening to this, guys, check out Savage CBD. We thank them for being a supporter of the Knoll Family Foundation, the Bradley's House podcast, and we hope you'll support them as well.
My name is Peter DiStefano, and I'm in the band Perro and was in the same era as Brad, and you're listening to Bradley's House, and this is the best place you could be if you want to get sober.
Nothing is impossible, but certain things are highly improbable. Don't think I'll meet your kind again, not in this lifetime.
Hey guys, welcome back. Come on in, make yourself at home, as you should when you're a guest in Bradley's house. I am your co-host, Jarett. She is the executive director of the Knoll Family Foundation, and our host, Ms. Kelly Knoll. Kelly, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jarett?
I'm tired, Kelly. It dawned on me that with a lot of the different business dealings that I do, I've been giving out my address to all of these fancy people that I'm doing business with. So I spent the afternoon painting a big blue square in my backyard. So if anybody Google Earths me, they'll think I have a big pool back there, and it kind of just ups my.
Did not. I don't believe that for a second.
I'm doing good, Kelly. I'm excited. I'm always excited on days that we record and get an opportunity to chat with somebody new and fun and exciting. And I'm really excited about today's guest, and I know you are as well. Kelly, who's our house guest today?
I think we're so fortunate that we get to talk to so many incredibly talented people and people from different walks of life that somehow tie into the theme of what we're talking about here on Bradley's House, whether it's music or recovery or just, people making a difference in the world. And so anyway, today I'm super excited that we have on with us one of the artists from the house that Bradley built. And quite honestly, and this is no big secret because I have been very vocal about this, his cover was one of the absolute big surprise breakouts for me, totally unexpected. And I just love it. I'm super excited that we have with us today singer, songwriter, and guitarist Shane Hall. Welcome, Shane.
Boom. Hello. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. I feel welcome. I appreciate that.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You're not originally from Southern California, are you?
I am not. I am originally from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I'm never going back. Maybe just to visit. maybe just to visit my parents and stuff. But other than that, not really. But I moved out here a couple different times, but most recently about 8 years ago.
Oh, wow. What brought you out here? How'd you end up on this
The,
coast?
the first time I was military, so I was
Oh,
stationed out
wow.
here in the last century, so
Last century. Which branch of the
1999.
military were you with?
Marines.
Right on. Thank you very much for serving.
You're welcome.
So that's what brought you out initially?
Yeah. Um, I was out. I had an aunt out here when I was a kid, but I don't remember visiting. I was like 4 or something, and then my first duty station was in Japan for a year,
Wow.
and I was a little bit homesick at first, and then I got over it, and my roommate was like, dude, go to California. When you leave here, go to California. What are you going to do when you leave here? I'm going to go to California. And he was not playing around.
Wow.
It's pretty epic, and I love it.
So is that how you ended up in Oceanside?
Yeah, I was,
Were
right,
you at Pendleton?
right. I was stationed at Pendleton, yeah, and then I was here for 3 years, and then I left and went to Europe for a while, and then I came back here, and then I did some deployments, and then I got out and I came back here.
Wow. So I live on the other side of Pendleton from where you are.
San
Not
Clemente.
Well, yeah, just above San Clemente. I work in San Clemente actually, but just above San Clemente. So we hear whenever they're doing the missile shelling and stuff at San Clemente, we can hear it, the
Oh
booming,
yeah.
and actually the place where I worked, the last office we were at was butted up right against the base, and so it would shake the whole building. Like seriously, it felt like an earthquake because it would just and just like shake the whole building crazy, and it just gave me such a whole different appreciation for the reality of that kind of stuff that you guys go through and deal with and prepare for and experience. I mean, it's really intense. And I knew about it, but I just had no idea until I like felt the vibrations of the artillery. It's really, really intense stuff.
Yeah, it's not playing around. It
Yes,
is,
exactly.
it is not, it's like, oh, this is very, very much real and
Yeah.
dangerous. Yeah, man, actually live on the other side, opposite, and we feel it too
Yeah, I bet.
on occasion.
So tell me a little bit about how you got into music.
I got music was like a thing that I always dug. I was in the front seat of my mom's car. We're driving along, and I'm looking out the window at the sky, and this song comes on called "Eye in the Sky" by Alan Parsons Project, and I thought it
Sure.
was the coolest sounding thing ever. And then from that moment on, I started just paying more attention. And then through the years, I sang. But my mom sang. She played horns and stuff in school and whatnot. And my dad was a DJ and a organ player. So music was around, but it wasn't like a career option. It was just around.
Mm-hmm.
And I dabbled in singing a lot, mostly in the shower. Did a couple like chorus and choir things, but nothing crazy. And then didn't really dig in deeper till I was 12. My stepdad got me guitar lessons, and I quit because I hated it. Hurt my hands. I wanted to play electric, but I was playing not electric, and it was pissing me off. And then he actually gave me the guitar that I recorded under my voodoo on.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, still got it. And then when I got into my military service and my early 20s is when I started buckling down. I met some other people that were musicians, so I was like starting to write and play in front of people, kind of thing.
Nice. At what point did you realize that you wanted to do that for a living?
I think I noticed it right away, but I didn't want to say that. I feel like, because I hate it when people are like, "Oh God, I can play 3 chords. I'm gonna be famous." Like, nah, man. And I knew it was a lot more. I didn't know what it would take, but I know it's a lot more. So I wanted to work at it harder and longer. Plus, I was still in the military, so it didn't even really dawn on me that it could be a full-time career option until I was like 30.
Wow. So what changed?
I started making money, and
That helps.
I was organizing events. I was like putting together. I started a band and then started playing. So the second time I was stationed in Japan, I was there for longer, and I was in mainland. And there was a shortage of bars and places for people to go and hang out because the town kind of died because the Marines were on restriction, so they had to be back on base by like 10 p.m. for a long time. So when I get there, I'm like, why is this place so dead? It's Friday night. There's 6 people in here. So I started putting together events for me to play, and it turned into a whole thing. And I'm like, dude, I could totally make a living doing this. Like, it's just not, it's not rocket science. It's just work. I can do that.
Nice.
That's awesome. Now, as you said you didn't start making a living doing this until you're 30, but you said music's always been a big part of your life. Who were some of the bands that you were listening to as you were growing up that made you say, yeah, I do want to do this? Even though you maybe didn't declare it out loud, in the back of your head, you knew you wanted to do it. There had to be some bands that you were listening to outside of the Alan Parsons Project, which I love.
Right. So basically, I had an identity crisis my whole youth. Like, no idea what was going on. My mom is white, blonde hair, blue eyes. My dad was very black, but they weren't married, didn't spend a lot of time with him. I grew up where my mom went to school and stuff. So I was very confused on a lot of different things. And my music, I just listened to everything. MTV was like just kind of getting fired up. So I was loving it. I just watched MTV all day. I watched everything. All the MTV you can imagine, I seen it.
Was that like back when they were still doing music videos? Or?
Yeah, it was like all the hair bands and stuff.
When it
like
was
Def
actual
Leppard.
music television.
Yeah, and I'm from the Northeast, so like all the like Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen stuff popping off. But all back when all the musicians all the music videos were getting played, and then at night it was like Yo MTV Raps, and then all the other cool stuff going on. I was really into R&B as a kid, though, singing wise. So like Boys to Men and Shy and like all those pre-boy band amazing groups.
Yeah.
Really kind of shaped me a little bit. I understood funk, but I didn't really like it. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, like I didn't get I didn't get it. I understood it. My natural form is very funky. Like I'm very automatic with the funky, but I didn't really get it. But I did love James Brown always. And then later in my late teens is when I got into Hendrix and classic rock as a whole. My roommate in Okinawa basically gave me education on music by decade from the 50s to the 90s. And he was a raging alcoholic, so he'd make me drink with him so he wouldn't feel like an alcoholic. And he would play, he'd be like, okay, Chubby Checker, boom, 1950 to 19 whatever. And then he'd be like, yeah, fun fact, died in a plane crash, Buddy Holly, and blah, blah, blah. And like he would just rattle this shit off, and he knew all this stuff. And I didn't pay much attention to all that. It was a lot at one time. I did, when I hear sounds that I like kind of focus in on them and research them, and I have to listen to them a million times until I'm tired of them.
Right. I get that. Definitely. So that kind of shaped your sound that you have now?
Yeah, and then, but I didn't really know, like, what music I could make, because as far as I was concerned, I couldn't really play guitar very well. I could do a couple chords, whatever, but when I started playing more and, like, playing with other people, that's when I got into more specific kinds of music. Like, I mean, I went through my Sublime phase like everybody else.
Oh, good.
And but it was too hard. It was too hard for me to play it and sing it at the same time. I was getting my
Sure.
ass kicked.
Understandable, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got out to Oceanside this last time, is that where you hooked up with Law Records?
Indeed. I was, man, 2018. It was like the spring of 2018, and I was playing a restaurant gig. I played, like, back then I was playing 4 to 5 shows a week. Nothing glamorous, just getting paid full time, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And I played at this restaurant in Oceanside called Masters, and it was crazy. The Kaleo from Pepper walks in, him and his lady, and they're like, so there's a couple couches like in front of where I perform, and they're sitting on the couches, and I guess they intended to come in for like one drink, and it ended up being 4 hours. They stayed for the whole set, and then we hung out afterwards. And that rolled into me helping Kaleo with some live events when they were launching their wine.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, and then it kind of distribution deal. And then he asked if I had any records in the can already. And I had a couple. So, and then I ended up, by February 2019, I got signed by Law Records, and we put out West River Queen, which was my big record and my first vinyl release.
That was that the collection of EPs?
Yeah.
Nice. So, okay, so Kaleo, of course, lives down in Oceanside. Have you been to the Switchboard restaurant in Oceanside while we're on the subject? Love that place. Love Kevin.
Yeah, I threw a big festival there right as things started to open back up. It was first festival of the year, Switch Fest.
Right on. That's so cool. Yeah, Kevin, the owner, is a big supporter of the foundation. He's been wonderful to us.
Yeah,
I went down there one time, I don't remember when it was, maybe about 4 to 6 months ago, and had dinner. What an amazing place he's got there. He's really doing a great job.
He's doing more and more with it, too. He's opened up the coffee shop, and then it's going to be like an art bar next door. It's going to be crazy.
He's the busiest man I know. I swear. He's like a fire captain on the LA Fire Department, and he owns a restaurant, opens a coffee place, now the art thing. Like, he's always doing something. Love him.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's very cool.
He's also a retired Marine.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he is. He's because he has done and is doing everything. I swear, he's amazing.
Yep.
He's a great guy. Yeah. So you got connected with Law Records, who, of course, they're the ones who are responsible for doing the house that Bradley built. Absolutely adore Paul Milbury and Yasad Williams. They are some of my most favorite people.
Yeah, he's the man. Old Paul, the suit, handling business. I like it.
The hammer. They're really they're such great people and have so much integrity and truly care about people and about the music and put that first, and I love that about them. So I'm so stoked that you're working with them, and I'm so stoked that you were on the album. So was it your idea to do Under My Voodoo, or did they suggest that for you?
Actually, so Paul hit me up, and he's like, we're doing this thing. And he ran it down, and I was like, that's awesome. I'm like, is he going to ask me to be on it? And he's like, we want you to do a song. I'm like, yes, I got you. And so I listened to all of Bradley's acoustic demos and stuff that I could find, and just got kind of blown away. I knew all the good songs would be taken, all the cool ass songs would be taken. So I was trying to find some stuff that was less forward in the repertoire,
Yeah.
And I went to Paul, and I'm like, yo, how about this one? And he's like, yeah, that's a cover. I'm like, all right. Well, what about this one? Oh, yeah, that's also a cover. It's like, shit. All right. So I did a real good version of Zimbabwe. It was awesome.
Ooh, nice.
And I was like, oh, all right. And then he's like, why don't you try Under My Voodoo? And I listened to it. I'm like, holy fuck! Like, how am I supposed to do
Right.
that? And then and he's like, well, how about you do Under My Voodoo? I need it by tomorrow.
No pressure.
Make it happen. And I'm like, oh, all right, okay. So I went to the studio. Me and my producer Dom. He's awesome, and we just were in there like trying stuff. And I'm like, all right, I think I have an idea for this song. And then I ran it, and he's like, that's it, that's the one. I'm like, dope. All right, let's do it again. And I probably did it like 4 times, and so it's a live recording. Like I sang and played guitar at the same time, and it was like a one take Jake kind of thing. No overdubs, no crazy stuff happening.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And then once I listened back, I'm like, oh, like I dig it. Like there's some stuff I might have done differently, but I was feeling it. I was in the moment, so I was like, let's just roll with that. I sent it to Paul, like fingers crossed, and Paul was like, hell yeah, man, tight. I'm like, all right. And then I didn't hear anything else about it for a long time, and then all of a sudden, like, it's coming out, we're releasing, we're dropping, blah. I'm like, all right, woohoo.
After you sent it to Paul, shortly after that, he sent it to me, and he's like, hey, check this out. And I just remember, like, it was such a crazy moment because you so reinterpreted the song, but gave it, obviously your own flavor, but just this incredible intensity to it in a completely different way.
Right.
Like you said, like the Sublime version is really crazy
Wild.
too. Yeah, it's really wild. But then yours was wild in its own right, just this like dirty bluesy kind of a feel to it. And it really blew me away because it was so unexpected. It wasn't the typical, and there's so many great covers on that album. I mean, I love every single one. Not to, to minimize anybody else's work, because so many artists really brought it for that album, but it was just such a different and unexpected interpretation that I immediately was just drawn to it. And the guitar is amazing, and I remember playing it for people. I was so excited. I'm like, listen to this. Anybody who got into my car had to listen to it.
Thank you so much. Like, and then it's funny you said the intensity thing, because for me, I was trying to. So basically, I took the blues, like the Delta blues man approach, like one man, one sound, but it's basically giving all the energy and the intensity, but still in a disciplined-ish, controlled delivery. So it was like I was just trying to channel, and by holding on, I was struggling to like push out what I needed to do, and I was struggling to play all at the same time, and that's what you're hearing, which is why I kept it. I was like, we're doing that. That's it.
Yeah. What made you think to go in that direction, in that bluesy direction?
I mean, to be real, honestly, that's where, like, as far as my guitar skill sets lie, that's probably the most chops I have are blues oriented. Plus, the framework of the song lines up pretty well with like Voodoo Child and other stuff.
Right.
So I got the idea because I do a similar version of Voodoo Child like that, but I never recorded it or anything. So I was like, oh, well, I can just kind of shift this, and now I can play it comfortably and focus on the vocal delivery, and then bring accents in with the guitar too.
That's amazing. You must have been pretty familiar with the song in order to just kind of crank it out in one evening like that.
I was not, but
really?
I worked at it. Yeah. I mean, I listened to it, but if I listened to it too much, I would try to do it like it was, and I wanted to take the essence. Like, I really like this melody lines, like being your guide. Like, actually, that is hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing that. That's dope. want to lean into that. So.
Well,
Yeah.
you did an awesome job, and it's not an easy song. And a lot of times when I'm talking with fans of Sublime specifically, I joke and I say that there's some songs that Brad writes that are very meaningful lyrically, like you can feel the songs, and then sometimes he does songs just to show off, and. And that's one of those songs where, like, I feel like he was like, I've got this amazing range with my voice and my guitar, and I'm going to write a song to show off and prove that I have that. Yeah. And that's how I kind of always judge that song. And every time it comes on, that's the first thing I think. I'm like, he's just showing off. And so really a difficult song to go at, and your interpretation of it was amazing.
Thank you, man. Yeah, the thing I noticed about his version the most was his vocal timing, and then the instrument timing is very offset. So for me to sing it like he sings it exactly and play it like it's almost impossible, because like that's him. Like he's done that a million times. That's his thing. And for me, like the timing was so strange to me. Like I had to really rein it in, and I actually smoothed it out a little bit and made it I dumbed it down actually a little bit for me, but then I just used my voice to kind of make it shine in different areas.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Well, you did a great job for sure. So you're a solo artist. You've been in bands before though, right?
I've had bands. I've been in a couple bands, but mainly we sucked. So it was very long time ago. So I was in a band called Spoon Fed Cool. Was my first band, and it was an acoustic band, and I was like the side man. I was just the backup guitar player, the lead guitar, backup vocal guy, and I could only sing and play 5 songs at that time. So it was like a really growth project for me. And then I was in a band. This guy that owned a bar in Japan was a drummer, and he put together a band, and I fronted the band, but it was his band. It was called Hero Zero. No recordings, a lot of covers. And then I started my own band called Jalopy, and that was like my first band. I had a little band called The Side Project, and it was a duo, and now I got my chops in, but I basically did a bunch of covers and played cafes and stuff. But now I go by Shane Hall. I've had rosters and rosters of people I play with, but I decided I didn't want a band because nobody's going to want to work as hard and for as little as I am. So, so I just made sure that I was able to execute the gigs. But over the years, I have put together a band, and I do have a band now, but it's just called the Shane Hall Band or the Shane Hall Trio. Gotcha.
I would imagine it's got to be stressful being a part of a band, because you got to deal with all the different people and personalities and everybody's artistic ideas. But then being a solo artist, I would imagine there's a lot of pressure because it's all on you.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. So I enjoy being the boss, and I'm grown enough and have the aptitude to handle that, I think. However, it does come with its trouble spots. For instance, like 2 weeks ago, we were on tour in Salt Lake City, and our trailer with all our gear got stolen.
I heard about that. That's awful.
So $39,000 worth of gear gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we're like, and I'm responsible. You know what I mean? So it's just like, But I found guys that are really perfect for what I'm doing. And now they are my band. Like, they're my dudes. So I love it. And I do have a lot of pressure, but dude, I need pressure. I won't do shit.
Right. It keeps you going, huh?
Yeah, I'll just be like, oh, well, I'm super comfortable now. I'm just going to chill. But I need stuff to work. I book shows and stuff just to make me work on different material and stuff. Because I like playing live is how I kind of cut my teeth as a musician. It's part of my writing process it's the centerpiece of what I do.
Yeah, makes sense. So what do you have coming up? What are you working on now?
Working on a couple records. The Slow EP is going to come out. It's actually a lo-fi record I did during COVID. And Howl and Sway, we're trying to get that thing together too. That'll be out probably early next year. And I'm got tours, man. I got shows coming up. Doing the East Coast. I'm doing North Carolina, West Virginia. And then me and Kaleo are doing a bunch of city winery shows in like every major city in the Eastern Seaboard, pretty much.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so that I'm really stoked for that. Love that dude, and I
He's
appreciate
wonderful.
him.
Yeah, great guy.
When you say you're going back to the East Coast, you're from Harrisburg. So, are you a Philly sports fan?
Yeah, everybody. I like Philly except for football. I like Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's all right. We won't hold that. I grew up in Philadelphia, but I'm actually a Giants fan. So that's
What?
all right. So I have an older brother who's 7 years older than me, and he's a diehard Eagles fan, and he's a huge asshole. So
Yeah.
at a really young
Hand in
age,
hand.
exactly. So
That's why I'm not an Eagles fan.
Right, the stigma. It's horrible. So at a really young age, I mean, real young, I realized how much he hated the Giants. So they became my favorite team. And then,
Oh my gosh.
and then in 1990, they won the Super Bowl when I was 7. So I was just like, shit, my brother hates them and they're the Super Bowl champions. Like, I'm in. So,
That's
so
hilarious.
yeah. So
That
is
solidified it, huh?
It's very similar for me. My dad and my stepdad and his mom and the stepbrother were all hardcore Eagles fans. And my stepbrother was more of a hardcore Redskins fan. And I was like, first of all, screw you guys. I don't care. Second of all, you're going to push me, fine.
Right.
Pittsburgh's got way better colors than all y'all. It's not even a contest to me. So
Right,
I went with
right.
Pittsburgh. I went with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was a good call. But now when you're on tour, is like, do you hit the Philadelphia area quite a bit and do some shows? Is that like your home ground?
No, man, because I mean I went out there in 2019. I did like 4 or 5 shows in Philly, and that was the first time I played in Philly. Because when I was growing up, I didn't really play in front of people yet. I was just dabbling. But yeah, I'm playing in Philly this with Kaleo actually. And I don't have anything else booked there right now. But I was trying to book earlier and they were all still locked down. So now that everything's open again, who knows? But might get locked back down. I don't know. It's hard to tell these days, man.
Gosh, I certainly hope not. I can't go for another lockdown. So I hope that's something that we can avoid. But yeah, when you mentioned the R&B and you said Boys to Men, I'm like, well, yeah, because that was the only thing that they ever played on the radio from like 1990 to 1999. That was all that you were fed. I actually met Nathan Morris at the Las Vegas airport, and he begged me for a picture, and I finally took it and posted it on social media.
That is one of my all-time favorite pictures, Jarett.
Dude, they're awesome, and Philly's awesome, man. Like playing there, it was great. But I love that town, and I love the music and the art in that town. There's a drum sound from Philly that is just so tight and so good. Man, I'm like addicted to it. Me and my drummer were like just watching it because we went to other people's gigs while we were there, just watching these people, the locals play. Man, they're swaying so hard. You know, well, it's Questlove's stomping grounds, so there it is.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great music scene there, and it's a lot of fun to go into the city. I haven't been back in a few years now at this point, but yeah, Philadelphia is an awesome place to go and check out and visit. get the hell out of there. Is my best.
Get the hell out.
Yeah. Let's get some pizza and a cheesesteak. In fact, do you know what a South Philly taco is?
No.
All right, so South Philly taco, there's a specific place. Now there's a bunch of places that offer them, but they actually take a giant slice of pizza and they wrap it around the cheesesteak.
Oh,
and
that sounds fucking amazing.
It is. It's like, yeah, there's times where like when I knew I was going back to visit, I wouldn't eat for like a couple days, and I'd be like, I have to get ready for what's actually getting ready to happen when I do get there, because all I'm gonna do is eat. So yeah, that's a real thing.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Horrifying.
So who you with? Like Pat's, or what are you doing?
All right, so here's the deal. Pat's and Gino's are amazing places for tourism. So, like, if you have a family member that comes in from out of town that's never been there, you have to take them to Pat's and Gino's, because it's all of the sizzle, and then you get the steak. Yeah, but there's all the pictures of the famous people, and it's been on every TV show, and so typically we'll go to Pat's and Gino's, and I get somebody one of each, just so they can say that they had them both. But realistically, there's a million little spots on street corners that I think have better cheesesteaks. Right around the corner, Ishkabibbles, I think, is a better cheesesteak. But Ishkabibbles it's called, but you have to go to Pat's or Gino's just to say that you did it.
I think I did a spot called Duke's. Is it Duke's?
Oh yeah, Duke's is famous.
Duke's was solid, man. I liked that. That was good.
Yeah,
we were there for 7 days and we ate 5 cheesesteaks. So
right
there you go.
sometimes if I have to change it up, I'll get a cheesesteak stromboli. And that way I feel like I'm doing it a little bit better. But yeah, and then I used to vacation at the Jersey Shore every year. Now, not the North Jersey Shore, like you see, no fist pumping and Snooki. We kept it more civilized and went to the South Jersey Shore. But like I would like seriously get ready for that. And then I moved away when I was 16, and there's so many things I didn't realize. Like I can't get pork roll here. People don't know, it's not a thing, and cheesesteaks don't exist, and so moving away from the Northeast, as much as I'm happy to be out of there, there's a lot of things that I'm missing out on.
Yeah, man, Stromboli's not a thing out here, dude.
No, I know.
Terrible. It's terrible.
I know.
It's like an endangered species or something.
Oh God.
You might have like a Jersey Mike's though, right?
So Stromboli's not even a thing out here, bro.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna get a Stromboli there, but you can still go to Jersey Mike's and get kind of a hoagie, and you can also get tasty cakes there. When I lived in Portland, the manager used to just order me tasty cakes by the case. And I would go in there and I'd be like, "Can I have the case of tasty cakes?" And she's like, "This is $353." And I'm like, that's not what we were talking about. Do you have the case? Couch. Yeah, you got the case or not, lady? Because I haven't had a tasty cake in 3 years.
Hand them over. If you're down this way, there's a spot called I Love Bagels. It's in Oceanside. They have 2 locations in Oceanside, and it's a mom and pop shop straight from New Jersey. They do their own bagels, and they do like a mini cheesesteak. Like they don't do whiz or anything, but they do a mini cheesesteak, and it's good, man. But the bagels are really good. They do like pastrami bagel sandwiches and stuff. It's like, ooh. So if you're down there, try it out.
I was just reading an article about a guy in Arizona who grew up in Brooklyn, and he opened up a bagel shop. And for the first 2 years, he just couldn't figure it out, couldn't get it right. And he now imports water from Brooklyn. And he claims that is 100% the difference, and that's why the bagels are so much better in New York than anywhere else. It's because of the water that they're using, and so he trucks it in like in a gasoline truck, except for filled with Brooklyn water.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's what you gotta do.
So Shane, For everyone who's listening and they want to go check you out, go ahead, plug your websites, YouTube pages, anything that you have going on, man. Let us know how to find you.
Yo, it's me, Shane Hall. I'm right here. Hit me up in my Instagram. It's a Shane Hall Official and at Shane Hall Official. And that's also my YouTube. Those are the best things, really. ShaneHallOfficial.com is my website that is not properly kept. I'm working on it. In the meantime, Instagram at Shane Hall Official.
Right on. Is that where you post all your upcoming shows and stuff?
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly. Yep, that's
right
the one.
On. Right on. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us, Shane. We appreciate you taking the time. Loved talking with you, hearing about the inspiration for your cover of Under My Voodoo. Again, thank you for being on the album, and I look forward to seeing you out there soon.
It's my pleasure, and thanks for having me. It's great.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Thank you so much.
And now I'm starving, so thanks for that.
Well, you're not going to get a fucking Stromboli anywhere. I'll tell you that much right now.
Better start driving.
Well, Kelly, I know that we've talked many times about the amazing compilation album, The House That Bradley Built, and you've never picked a favorite song, but I do know that when we had Paul and Yee on, we talked about a song that was a shocker, or one that kind of caught everybody off guard and blew them away, and all three of you guys agreed that it was Shane Hall's rendition of Under My Voodoo. So it was awesome having him on and being able to chat with him, and kind of from a different genre than some of the musicians that we've had on. But again, what an amazing cover he did.
Absolutely. And I think that's why it gave the song such a different feel, because he is from a bit of a different genre. And so it was great to have him on the album, and really great to have him on the podcast.
Yeah, I had a chance to hop in. If you guys haven't, hop onto YouTube, look up some of his other tunes. He really just has an amazing kind of soulful, jammy type sound. And obviously chatting with him, you can see he's a lot of fun. So, he took time there. He's traveling down the road. He was heading to the next spot as he was chatting with us.
Busy guy.
Yeah,
he also
absolutely.
has some shows coming up. So if you guys are in the Southern California area, make sure to check out Shane at the Poorhouse in Oceanside on November 24th. He'll be playing with Kalea Wassman from Pepper at the Oceanside Theater Company on November 26th. He's got a couple of dates in San Diego in December. And then it looks like he and Kalea are hitting the road and going to be playing in Chicago and Washington, D.C. in January. So lots of opportunities. Again, his website is ShaneHallOfficial.com. You can go there and get all the ticket info.
Or, of course, you can just hop over to law-records.com where you can pick up your copy of the compilation album, The House That Bradley Built, featuring Shane Hall. And there's also information on all the amazing Law Records musicians, Shane being one of them. And again, his rendition of the show on The House That Bradley Built is just an absolutely amazing rendition. So the guitar playing on that is just so soulful. I was listening to it right before we recorded again. I really enjoyed that one. And I know, Kelly, that it was one that really caught you, really kind of caught you off guard. You weren't expecting it when you got it. So
definitely a highlight of the album for me.
For sure, guys. Well, again, we hope you enjoyed this one as much as we enjoyed doing it. You know why we're doing it. We're raising funds to get Bradley's house up and built. You can go ahead and go into the description of this show right down there and click on the link tree. It'll get you to all things Knoll Family Foundation, including Venmos and Cash Apps. Every dollar counts towards getting Bradley's house up and built. You guys can visit the KnollFamilyFoundation.org and pick up some merch. The holidays are coming. You can check out some pins and shirts, stickers. There's all sorts of stuff on there. And every dollar goes directly towards getting Bradley's house up and built. And Kelly, I know that every time a new order comes in, it means so much to you and your family.
Absolutely. We appreciate the support of everybody. And we look forward to getting the house open. Yeah,
we're getting there, guys. So every day we get a little bit closer with your help. So go ahead and like and share. Leave your comments. We see all of them. And it's been an amazing time chatting with Shane, guys. Unfortunately, we are out of time. I'm Jarett Orr. She's Kelly Noel. You don't have to go home, but it's time to leave Bradley's house.
you got is the most I'd have. Can hide your love, it's true. It's the freedom game, you can see it every day, but your freedom ain't free. Come on down now, I know I'm gonna make you come clear. Don't you know it ain't no thing to be for, but you don't take more than you need. What's under my voodoo? Under my voodoo. Pray I'll leave you high